Hola, welcome back to another episode of Three at the Back.
¿Cómo
So,
estás?
we figured that this would be a nice little mini series between the three of us where we predict the Premier League game weeks. And we have like this little tally chart where we all decide who's on the leaderboard because what better way to wager between three friends? What do you say the stakes are? What, cash?
Cash or card?
Oh,
Sound like an Uber driver.
okay,
Okay.
so on
The
that
cash, the card.
terrible
Never
note,
mind.
I guess this series is over. Well, no, lads. So, game week 17 starts on Tuesday, the 14th. So, what we figured is all three of us would give like a prediction to the game and the scoreline, and we would have like a tally board. So, without further ado, the first game is Brentford versus Manchester United, which is the first time these two teams are playing in the Premier League ever.
Whoa,
Hmm.
very interesting indeed. Aathif,
I
you
think
can go ahead with your prediction, and someone needs to type the prediction down or write them down.
I think
I will keep a note of it.
I think it will be a very interesting game because when you look at the teams United have played, when you look at Crystal Palace is a very progressive team which allows you to press very effectively. Whereas when you look at Brentford, you're talking about a team that tends to like to sit back in games. So when you sit back, it will be interesting to see how Ralph Ragnick's team approach this game because you can't counter them easily because they like to play at a low block at times and they defend very well in the box. So yeah, you could see a different United have to unlock a different dimension in that game. So I think it'll be a very interesting watch. But I think it'll be 2-1 to United.
Well, then, Farhan,
I'm
what
gonna
do
go
you
with
think?
my prediction. I echo the thoughts of what Aathif said with regards to the game, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it with my prediction. But on the caveat that Brentford can be quite an interesting side at times. Like they have the ability to nick a result, as we've seen with Arsenal, as we've seen with Liverpool. So, anyhow, I'm just going to go and put in a prediction of 2-0 to Man United.
That was a very weird way. He first described how Brentford nicks a result, and then he just goes, so I'm just going to say 2-0 United. I thought he was going to say 2-0 Brentford. He just went, oh yeah, Brentford have shown the ability to nick a result, so I'll go 2-0
Yeah,
United.
but regardless, I think even United have shown the ability to, be solid against those kind of bogey teams. So I think it would easily be a 2-0 to United ever since Ralph Ragnick came. I know you guys did an episode about Ralph Ragnick and his career and his implications on what you think the Manchester United team will be. So I think from what I have seen so far, it just brought a more assuredness to Manchester United's side, a more intensity and more understanding of tactics, actually. So, in the Crystal Palace game, there was way more tactics like implemented under one game of Ralph Ragnick than Ole had in his entire Manchester United career. So I think they're definitely going to nick a result. So I'm going to go with 2-0.
So I think Brentford's the most inconsistent team right now. When you look at their last few games, they beat Everton, they lost to Norwich, they lost to Spurs, and I just think they're really inconsistent. I don't think Ivan Toney is there for the game. I think he's still recovering from COVID, and I think Christopher Ayer is a huge plus. That being said, I also don't see United keeping a clean sheet because I think United tends to give the ball away in bad areas. Brentford, I mean, I live close to Brentford, so I could face death threats for saying this, but I think it's going to be a 1-3 United. I think I think United's getting on track right now in their season. I think their season has started to get on track now. So I think Brentford will, at certain parts of the game, pose a lot of problems, especially with their long balls and their pace. But I just think that United will have this one covered because of Brentford's the lack of two of their star players and just the patchiness in form they have. So I'm going to say 1-1 for Brentford. I think United can't keep a clean sheet. And I'm going to say 1-3 United is what I'm going to say.
Do you fancy going to the game, Dwayne?
I tried. I actually tried. I called the Brentford ticket office, and what the guy basically told me is good luck, mate. He basically just told me good luck. So there's my hopes and dreams gone.
Well, at least
So-
the bar then.
So the next game on match week 17 is Norwich versus Aston Villa. And I'm going to start with my prediction here. So Aston Villa and Norwich, in the last 3 games, Aston Villa has won. In the last 3 meetings between Aston Villa and Norwich, Aston Villa has dominated all 3 games. And I think it's going to be a 3-0 Aston Villa win. I'm going to be brave and say Steven Gerrard just gets he's just gonna absolutely destroy. They're playing at Norwich at Carrow Road, and I just think that Villa are gonna score 3 goals without reply from Norwich. I think Norwich are under Dean Smith, they look better, but they're just not a Premier League team in my eyes.
I'd go for. I think you can never underestimate a Dean Smith side. They always come up with something. They play on the front foot at times, so I think I'm gonna go with a 3-1 or 2. No, yeah, I'll go with a 3-1
To whom?
to Villa.
To Villa. I know you guys are very interesting today. I don't know. You guys are always like talking about one team and saying, yeah, this team is good. And then immediately you're like, so the other team's going to win 3-0.
I mean, we have to be realistic, right? While acknowledging that other teams have been good. You have to always keep the options open.
But really, has Norwich been that good? I mean, yeah, they had back-to-back wins. And again, they just bounced back to reality and lost their last. They drew against Wolves. They drew against a red card Newcastle team. And then they lost 3-0 Tottenham. So I think they're just bouncing back to what Norwich really is.
I'm going to go with my prediction and say that Aston Villa will win 1-0.
1-0. Ah, that's interesting. I thought you would back your Scouser and just go Aston Villa to win 6-0 or something like that.
Well, they won 7-2 against Liverpool last year. Hoping
Yeah,
there's
but-
not a repeat of that.
So
But yeah, 1-0 to Aston Villa.
you reckon Ollie Watkins gets on the score sheet again?
It's possible, but I don't know, man. I'm not going to call who's going to score because, I mean, there's just so many players, and I think there's a good opportunity for anyone to get on the score sheet, but I don't think it'll be a walk in the park or an easy game for Aston Villa by any means. Norwich will definitely be up for some fight. So I'm just gonna go with Gerrard nicking a win.
All right, Farhan, stay on the topic. I want to ask you about your prediction for Manchester City versus Leeds, Pep Guardiola versus Marcelo Bielsa.
I'm just gonna go with 3-0 to Manchester City. And I don't know, I'm telling you, Marcelo Bielsa, I can't make my mind up about him. He's a really good manager on one side, but when they play well, they're phenomenal. All right, they're erratic, but they're phenomenal. But when they lose, they're just atrocious. They're just
He's poor.
horrendous. And I think City haven't actually fallen for the Leeds, the kind of attack that Leeds do. City have always looked reassured against it, and I think comfortable 3-0.
Aathif, what do you think?
Um,
I know you have a personal Leeds bias, but try and hold that bias normal now. Just hold it at a normal level.
I think they've been hard done by really the injuries to Bamford, and not a set defense as well. Calvin Phillips struggling as well. I think it's an easy win for City. I just don't know
Calvin
what's the.
Phillips is
I just don't
struggling.
know.
But you have to ask the question, where is Pogba in all of this?
What are you? No, it's just I don't know what the scoreline is going to be, but it's going to be a City win.
But
I
you need to
think
tell a scoreline, right?
I think 4-0 City.
4-0 City, an absolute thumping is on the cards from Arsenal Bielsa's men. Are you ready for this, guys?
Let's go.
Leeds United have always played good against Manchester City.
Yeah, that's
They've
the.
beaten Man City twice and they've drawn with Manchester City. I know Leeds are bad this season, but they just got Bamford back and he also scored. I think they, for the first time this season, I think they have all their players healthy.
I think
So
Bamford got injured again.
no, he scored. He came back, and I think
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
be back for City as well.
But then I saw a post on Facebook which said he's injured again.
Oh, Facebook, the social hub for mums. Anyway, I think it's going to be a 1-1. I think that Leeds will do very well against City. Historically, they have been good against City. And I think they will manage that threat really well. City have always struggled against that man-for-man system. So my bold prediction for the week is Man City 1, Leeds 1. Time for Liverpool and Chelsea to get back to the top of the table.
It's going to be Liverpool on top of the table. We all know that.
It's going to be Chelsea for sure.
You.
I mean, come on.
Okay.
Yeah, we all know Chelsea's going to win the
Y'all are
league
ahead
this
of
time.
us.
If both of y'all have that mentality, I'm going to say it's going to be United.
Well, okay, so I'm just going to stick with my prediction on Man City having a thumping or a very good result against City.
The next game is actually, I think, it's a low-key pick for game of the week. It's Brighton and Hove Albion versus Wolves.
Ooh, interesting.
Two
Dwayne,
teams
go ahead
that
with your
struggle to
prediction
find the
first.
back of the net with ease.
Yep. So you are okay. My prediction, right? Neil Maupay has been fantastic. If he scores an 89th minute goal again, I will. Come on, guys, give me a forfeit here. I will eat mud if he scores an 89th minute winner or an 89th minute equalizer. If Neil Maupay scores in the last minutes of a game, I will eat mud on camera in the next video.
Okay.
But
You'll eat mud.
I will eat mud if Neil Maupay does it again. I love Brighton, as you guys know. I'm a huge Graham Potter guy. I think it's going to be an entertaining game, but a game full of mistakes. I think both teams are going to miss the target. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I don't think either team will win, but I think it'll be very end-to-end because Brighton will keep possession, but Brighton will also be effective in possession. I think Wolves are just going to hit them with Jimenez and Adama and Trincao, and I think Podence is back, so I think it's a 1-1 draw. I think it just has two end-to-end game written all over it. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Remember, Neil Maupay, don't screw me over.
This is at Amex, is it?
Yeah, it's at the Amex.
Okay, 1-0.
Isn't it at MasterCard?
I'm gonna go 0-0.
Oh,
I'm
it's
going
good.
to go with. I'm going to go with 1-0 to Wolves.
1-0 to Wolves.
Hmm.
All righty. We have a Brighton loss on our hands.
Yep.
I'm just going to say this. Brighton fans booing Graham Potter are the most,
Yeah, ridiculous.
ridiculous. Absolutely brain dead people that anyone could ever associate with are Brighton fans and boo Graham Potter.
Like takes you
What?
back to Arsenal fans booing Arsene Wenger.
Yep.
Why do Brighton fans boo Graham Potter? He's like the best manager they've had in their history.
Yep. And it's terrible that they boo him, but it happens. And
But
they are
why do
brain
they
dead
do that?
because they're disappointed with draws.
Wow.
Yep.
So they
I'm telling you, if they
losses.
didn't have Graham Potter, they would have been relegated by now. But
Oh yeah.
on the subject of relegation, we have a relegation battle: Burnley versus Watford. Here we go. This will be interesting. Aathif, what do you think is going to happen? I don't think Maxwell Cornet is playing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2-1 Watford.
2-1 Watford. We're going with a nice little Claudio Ranieri comeback.
I like their forwards a lot. Dennis King and who's the other guy?
Isma. Come on, man. You can't forget Isma.
Yeah. Just got. But the other two have been performing brilliantly lately. King and Dennis, I almost forgot Sa.
What about you, Farhan? What do you think? A relegation 6-pointer, let's say that.
Just wondering. I think 2-1 Watford. I'm sorry, 2-1 Burnley.
Burnley 2-1.
So, the opposite of Aathif's position. I don't know. Sondag's masterclass, let's call it.
You know, I saw this thing on Instagram where they put manager ratings. If they had ratings on FIFA for managers, then they gave Sean Dyche an 85. And I was a bit confused, and I just look at it, and then I realized, you know what, Sean Dyche has done with limited resources. He's kept Burnley in the Premier League for like 4 seasons running, so maybe an 85 is running.
He's the master of doing that.
Yeah.
House. And did you see? I got so much respect for him walking out in the snow, just in that shirt and the trousers. Like, what a hard man.
He's a crazy man.
He eats nails for breakfast. That's for sure.
Telling you.
But yeah, I'm saying Sondage masterclass, classic grafting 2-1 victory for Burnley.
I love me some Chris Wood. Oh, I love some Chris Wood. He's a fantastic striker. You know what? I'm gonna say a 1-0 gritty Burnley win with Watford not scoring in this game. I think that's going to be a 1-0 Burnley win. I'm going to see a Chris Wood masterclass incoming.
That's possible. Very, very possible. So you reckon Chris Wood's going to get the goal?
I reckon Chris Wood's going to score. I mean, if Chris Wood doesn't score and Cornet is not playing, I just don't think Burnley will score. So it's Chris Wood. And then we have...
That sounds plausible.
Crystal Palace versus Southampton. Now, this is a big game at the middle half of the table.
It's progressively getting tougher to call the victories, actually. You know, when it gets to that stage in the middle of the table, even towards the bottom of the table, it's so hard to predict the victories. Like, you know, there's nothing set in stone in the Premier League. It can go either way. But Southampton and Crystal Palace, I think it's going to be a Crystal Palace victory.
Crystal Palace
victory going to be 2-0.
2-0 to Palace. And Aathif, what do you think? Palace Southampton at Selhurst Park.
I think Southampton have this tendency to grind out results at home. We've seen it quite a few times. We saw it against Leicester. They put in their different side at home. I think it's going to be. I love this Palace side, but I think Southampton with a goal from Armando Broja.
You're just saying that because he's from Chelsea. Give me your actual prediction. Don't give me your Chelsea-based prediction.
No,
give me your actual prediction.
He's been scoring the goals for such a young forward. So I think it's going to be a good watch. 2-1 Southampton or 1-0 Southampton. 1-0 Southampton.
Give me your 1-0 Southampton. All right. Listen, Crystal Palace have draw written all over them. Let me tell you something interesting. Crystal Palace this season have only won, I think it's three games this year, but they've had like 7 draws this year. So based on numerical issues, I'm going to say it's a 1-1 draw just to be safe, because Crystal Palace have draw written all over them this season. And I don't think that team, they've conceded so many late goals, let's be honest, that goal against Arsenal really killed them. They also are capable of producing the shock result, but I just don't see Crystal Palace or Southampton winning this game. I think it's a 1-1 draw for me. So I'm going with a 1-1 draw. And I'm not going to be Chelsea biased. I'm going to say Shea Adams scores the goal for Southampton. Next, we have what I
All three
consider
forwards,
the
you chose
biggest.
Shea Adams. Consider
Come on,
Adam
he's good.
Armstrong.
He's good. I don't want to be Chelsea biased and give Broca the goal just because he's from Chelsea. I'm
He's
not
gonna
like you, Aathif. The next game, I think it's going to be the best game of the weekend. We have Arsenal versus West Ham at the Emirates. Farhan,
Oh,
what do
wow.
you think of Arsenal versus West Ham? West Ham obviously coming off that incredible win against Chelsea.
Wow. This is such a tough game to predict because West Ham this season have been phenomenal. Just imagine two teams in the top three they've beaten, and they weren't too bad against City either. So West Ham, see,
fortunate to
I'd
concede
go
that
with the
goal in
West
the
Ham win. Like that was the free goal, okay. But they played well overall. I'd go with the West Ham win. If not for Arsenal's losing run, I think Arsenal are going to turn the losing run with a probably a close victory against West Ham. Arsenal are a quality team. Mikel Arteta has got it in him, but they lost 2-1 against Everton. I don't know. Arsenal is such a tough team to call, but I think that they're going to go with a 2-1 victory for Arsenal.
2-1 to Arsenal. All righty. I think that's a bold prediction, but it's nice to hear that. Aathif, what do you think about Arsenal versus West Ham?
I watched the last two games between Arsenal and West Ham in the last 2 seasons where Mikel Arteta was in charge. And it was all
Let me just
West
tell you, they are goal fests, Arsenal versus West Ham.
and I mean, looking at their game, you think West Ham should have been comfortable winners. Antonio not taking chances, offside goals, etc. But I think now what we have in this West Ham side is midfielders who can pitch in with those goals. Fornals, Benrahma, Bowen, a clinical goal scorer now. So I think it's hard. I think the midfield battle will be key. How Rice and Souček take over Xhaka and Partey. I'm gonna go with 2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. So we
Ooh.
have two scores flipped on its head. You know what, Aathif? I agree with you. I think it'll be 2-1 as well to West Ham. I think Arsenal's on a bad run, and technically when Arsenal's on a bad run, they keep stockpiling losses until they catch one lucky break. And I don't think West Ham's the team you're going to catch a lucky break against. So I think West Ham's going to absolutely run riot. I don't think, like Asif said, I don't think they're as clinical as they should be. But I think they're going to score a lot of goals in this season. And I think they'll score 2 against Arsenal. I'm going 2-1 for West Ham. Come on, you Irons.
Okay.
Next we have Leicester City, the struggling Foxes versus the... Please give us an issue while Farhan takes another 4 minutes.
Did someone call
toilet break.
me? Did someone call?
Oh, I'm so done. I'm so done. I regret this. I regret this channel. Aathif. So before he comes back, Aathif, Leicester versus Spurs, the misfiring Foxes versus the COVID hit Spurs.
COVID hit Spurs.
COVID hit Spurs. Did it hurt?
Please,
I think
Aathif, carry on.
I think both teams are struggling defensively. I think it's going to be a goal fest as it always is. I'm going to go. I think Leicester will win this one. I think 2-0 Leicester.
Aathif doesn't back his ex-manager and goes
Unless I can't say clearly because so many injuries. We don't know who is COVID hit. We don't know who is out of the game. So that plays a huge factor. I'm just saying in case there are a few big misses, I'm saying 2-0 Leicester.
2-0 to Leicester. Farhan, what do you think? Are you going to back your ex-manager?
I am actually. I am. Uh, Tottenham are doomed club, man. No matter who the manager
I mean,
is, they
I
seem to
think they're
be.
doing well under Conte, but apparently signs with COVID aren't looking that good.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, did you hear that this guy, Joshua Kimmich, will be out until 2022 because COVID did some lung damage to him.
Well,
Get
that's
vaccinated.
unfortunate.
Apparently, Brighton also have COVID issues, so we forgot to take that into account for the Wolves game.
I
Dunk that
did.
we.
I said 1-1.
I'm
Okay.
but yeah, okay. So I think I'm gonna back my old manager. Gonna go with another 2-1
Who won to
Leicester.
Leicester? Listen, I think unfortunately the key word for me this whole episode has been draw. So I think it's going to be another draw. I think
Come
both
on, you
teams
gotta pick
aren't
a
the
side.
most. I am picking the side. I'm being neutral. I think
You're
it's going
just
to be a
contradicting
draw.
your
I
own
think it's going to
statement.
be an entertaining draw. I think it's going to be a 1-all draw between Leicester and Spurs, like I predicted for Palace, Southampton, Brighton, Wolves, and Man City Leeds. So I have 4 1-all draws this weekend. I will give. So I want to go first for this one, and I want Farhan to go second. So Chelsea Everton, because I know Aathif's gonna say something like Chelsea is gonna lose because he's very negative these days. But Chelsea 3, Everton 0. I don't see. I think Chelsea is gonna absolutely blow them out of the water. I just don't see a chance. I think Chelsea is a bit frustrated with these previous weeks, and they're gonna absolutely blow Everton out of the water. I have no two ways about it. Aathif, I am picking a side. Chelsea 3, Everton 0.
Chelsea 3. Mhm.
Farhan, what do you think?
I think Everton's in horrid form, and they haven't really been a convincing side. So I think Chelsea are actually going to blow them away. I'm just
Um,
going to go with a 4-0 victory.
4-0
Chelsea
Chelsea win.
4-0.
And finally, the Chelsea boy. What do you think, Chelsea?
I think the
He's
players
going
are.
to say 1-0 Everton.
I think the players are going through a burnout phase. Games every 3 days and club
Fuck off.
club World Cup coming up and all that. There's going to be plenty of rotation. Uh,
Wow, burn out, man. One loss against West Ham and your players are burnt out.
it is the
Yep.
draw against Zenit, the draw against United. Uh, but I think
Listen, give me your predictions. Stop being negative. Be optimistic and not pessimistic for
Let's
once.
decide, okay? I'm actually going to be realistic with Liverpool's predictions,
I think
although that's against my philosophy. But yeah,
I think it's going to be. I'd say 2-0 Chelsea.
Okay, at least he gave a Chelsea win. I'll
at
give
least
him props
something
for that.
realistic.
At least something that's not Chelsea losing 1-2. They're out of the title race. I don't think Tuchel is the right man for the job.
I never said that.
He didn't say that. I'm just saying what Chelsea fans would say at this point. Anyway, the last game is Newcastle traveling to Anfield. Listen, I want to give my prediction first again because these two, I mean, Farhan in particular, I think Aathif is going to be very realistic. Newcastle are going to get thumped. Absolutely thumped. If I was a Newcastle fan right now, I would just say, please take the 3-0 forfeit victory. Rage quit on FIFA. It's going to be, you know what? I'm going for Liverpool 6, Newcastle 1. I think Liverpool are absolutely going to blow them out of the water. I don't think there's a chance in hell that Newcastle have a chance in this game. I think Eddie Howe is going to regret being the first man to take the Newcastle job because they are going to get absolutely thumped by Liverpool. 6-1 is my prediction.
Farhan?
No, Farhan goes last. I want to hear what Farhan says at the end.
I think it's going to be 4-0.
4-0 to Liverpool. So we're getting two thumping victories is what we're predicting. And I think I covered everything for Aathif.
Actually, no, make it a 3-0.
3-0. Okay, a bit shaky, I'll say. But finally, to the Jurgen Klopp man himself, what do you think about your team? Now, don't tell me that 20th place Newcastle are going to upset you all 2-0 or something.
I'm saying there's a possibility for it, but I'm just gonna go and be safe. Listen, in the
You're a
Premier
joke,
League,
man. You're a joke.
you can't write anything off. But I still haven't given my final decision, okay? And it's something you all would want to hear, actually. I think Liverpool are going to win 3-0.
Same as me.
3-0. And do you think I should triple captain Salah this week?
You already
No.
used your triple captain.
Salah won't score.
I used one triple
Oh,
captain. I have another one for a different account.
Ah,
I don't know. I think Salah won't score this weekend,
oh,
but
come on.
I think 3-0 victory from.
And on
from
other news, the sky is turning black tomorrow.
At night.
It's an unhand enough of today. I don't want to see Farhan anymore. That's it on 3 at the back. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, Farhan.